morning, everybody. How are y'all doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning? I'm Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and welcome. I'm glad you're here today. Let's see if I can find myself here on my page. Good. Okay, so let me pin something here for y'all. And let's see. Okay, should be pinned. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I totally forgot in my haste to get my camera set up and everything. I forgot to tag Craft Around the Clock. Most of you know or are members of Craft Around the Clock, but this is my segment on Craft Around the Clock. But I will go back and later and I will tag the group in case you aren't a member and you'd like the link to it. You can do a search that says Craft Round the Clock, not around, but round. And that'll take you to the group and you can join too. Thank you, Suzanne. I thought I'd be a little patriotic today. Good morning, Rhonda and Janet. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. And Patricia, good to see you. And Michelle. It did help, that creative fuel. I like that cup. I like that saying. So I brought my second cup. I had a second cup with Mr. Wonderful out on the porch a little while before I left. He actually had the cushion set up and I was getting ready to leave and put my stuff in the car and I felt bad. So I sat down and had some coffee with him and I just brought it with me. I hope it's still a little warm, I hope. It seems like it's pretty good. So, Karen, thank you for sprinkling or passing the biscuits. Hey, Dana and Carol. Good to see y'all this morning. Hey, Delma, good morning. And I didn't get to everybody's good morning post this morning, but because I had to leave and drive. But welcome. We're going to be working today with one of my napkins from my summer napkin bundle. I did pin it in the comments. If you don't have the bundle and you'd like to get this napkin and the rest of the bundle, you're welcome to get it. I do have a few left, so if you'd like one, just click on that link and it'll take you over there. Hi, Diane. Good morning, my coffee friend, and Wanda. Hey, Michelle. Thank you for passing those biscuits. That means the same thing as share, sprinkle, whatever. So, hi, Gwen. What is that? Well, I've got to look over here. Crafty Hop Mom. Well, welcome. Good to see you. You just made your creative full. Okay, fuel. Fool. Yeah. Yeah, I like that saying. I thought that's pretty good. So we're going to be working with this napkin here. I love this napkin. The minute I saw it, it just has the little stitching around it, as you can see. And you can either use one of the panels if you like, but today we're going to use the whole panel. That's kind of what I had envisioned, to get it to look like a true barn quilt, you know. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the whole thing. If you wanted to use one panel, I'm going to just show you real quickly what you could do. This was my original plan. I have barnwood at home, but I know everybody doesn't have barnwood and can't get their hands on barnwood. So I had this little pallet sign here that probably either came from Home Depot, Hobby Lobby, or Walmart. I can't really remember. But they're around. I've seen them, and I've had this for a while. But I was going to take one of my little tins. Some of you are getting those in the mail. Should be getting them any day now. Yesterday, one said that hers was to be delivered. But I took a little piece of my roofing tin, a shed roofing tin, and I cut it to fit. And I would glue it down, and then I was going to go ahead, instead of painting it, you know, marking it and painting it white, I kind of just wanted to see what it would look like if I let that rust show through and make it even more rustic. But that's an idea that you can do with just one of them. Thank you, Joy. I've had this shirt a couple of years. I think I got it at Love and Faith. But that's an idea of something you can do with your tin if you want to, or you may want to use your tin for something else. But that's an idea. You can put it on barnwood. You could put it on a canvas, you know, and then add it to something like that. So that's just something that you can, an idea that you can do. But I really wanted to use the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I have this sign here. It's made by Hampton Art, so I'm thinking that's Walmart. is Hampton Art Walmart? I don't think it's Michael's, but I think it's Walmart. And this sign had varying heights of wood, you know, on it. You know, one was higher, one was lower, higher, lower. Y'all may have seen it. And so, and it has the back like that. And so I had Mr. Wonderful saw them all off for me. It was on the top and the bottom. And I had him saw them off to where it's fairly square. Okay, I didn't do quite as accurate job as I should have. But it's almost square. So that's going to be the top there, and I'll show you what we're going to do. I drilled 2 little holes in the very top of that. We're going to put some chain on that. We're going to hang it from a spindle. So let's get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and add some Mod Podge to, I'm going to leave it just the way it is. It's fairly white with a little bit of the wood showing through. So I'm just going to add this Mod Podge to it. Just kind of guesstimating how far it needs to come over. It might come over a little more than that, but that's okay. I could just go ahead and do the whole thing with Mod Podge if I want to. So anyway, let's get this on there. But I'm pretty sure I want to, oh, that's soaking it up. I'm going to take a lot more Mod Podge than that, aren't we? I want to say it was Walmart. I've had this sign probably a couple of years, and my Walmart didn't have it yesterday when I went to go see if there was anything else I could use for this napkin. And they just didn't have anything that would fit it. I'm going to measure this napkin. I want to say it's a 13 by 13. So if you want anything with the edges showing, you would need something larger than a 13 by 13 surface. And that was kind of hard to find, you know. Now, Michael's, if you live near Michael's or Hobby Lobby, more than likely you'll find something. It's just that my Hobby Lobby is an hour and a half away, so it doesn't quite work out for me to do that. So I just kind of have to rely on Dollar General. Sometimes I go to Dollar General and I'll find a sign that I can just repaint over. A lot of times they'll have signs or pallet signs that are large that you can paint over, and that's just an option for you too. I haven't been doing that lately, but I need to do that more often. Okay, this is pretty rough, so we'll just kind of see how this is going to look with the napkin. I can really see how rough it is. I should have sanded that, but we'll see how this works out. So let's dry it. I'm going to iron it on. And thank you for passing the biscuits, Dawn. Hi, Cindy. How are you feeling today? How are my beautiful feet today? They're here. My toes need painting, but other than that, I'm okay. So they're all right. They're a little tired today. These feet have seen many miles. Thank you, Mary. How are you feeling, Cindy? That's Cindy with the Shabby Heart by Vines. That's my bestie. And I'm probably going to have to add Mod Podge to some corners, I have a feeling. But we'll just kind of see how that goes. And just go ahead and put it up there. I might as well, right? So it'll soak in anyway. So, let me get it. As it's drying here. Cindy was in the ER. She may not want me to tell this, but she was in the ER yesterday and with terrible, terrible pain. She'd been having some pain on Saturday, and it was so bad it made her throw up. But she has a kidney stone, so she's trying to pass a kidney stone. So I don't know if she's passed it yet, but bless her heart. So my daughter suffers from kidney stones a lot, and hadn't had one in a while, knock on wood. But she's been through it with kidney stones herself, so Cindy's been in a good deal of pain. I'm tired and a bit shaky. That my legs are weak. Are they really? I wonder, are you taking the oxycodone, the pain medication? Maybe that's doing it. But bless your heart. So you don't know if you've passed it or not. So, she never did see where she would pass one. They had to go in surgically and remove one time. And then they had to go in and put stents too to open her up because she couldn't pee. She was so swollen. But I tell you, but glad that that's all it is and nothing more serious, even though that's painful. So, and she so much needed. Her mother is 92 and depends on her for everything, and so Cindy doesn't have time for this. So we're gonna decoupage this onto this surface that Mr. Wonderful cut fairly square. I'm the one that did the measuring. He did trim it down a little bit, but it was close enough. You know, he took a square and did that, and so it's fairly decent. It is really soaking that in. I think my shirt came from Love and Faith, I think. So, hello, Vintage Daisy. It's good to see you. What is your first name? Did you put your first name on there and I missed it? I don't know everybody's names. I'm sorry. I have a terrible time remembering things like that. And so, really do have a terrible time. So let's go ahead and get our napkin. I'm going to do the whole napkin. If you just hopped on, this is a napkin we're going to use from a napkin bundle. And I did pin the link in case you would like to get the bundle. It's in there. So I kind of started it off somewhere, I thought. So I'm going to do the licking stick here and just slowly peel it away. But you can use one panel or all four, 2 panels. But I just thought it was such a pretty napkin, and it was just reminded me of a barn quilt. It has the stitching around the edges of it, and in my neck of the woods, people have barn quilts on their barn, you know, painted barn quilts and things. I have a smaller one. It's not on my barn, but I do have a smaller one that I think I'll put on my porch when the house is finished. But Jennifer bought one at the same time at the craft fair, and I tell you what, it looks like a it looks lost on her house. It looks big when you buy it, but it looks lost on her house. She almost needs something else to put. I told her to take it off and put it on her little porch on the short, you know, smaller wall, and she said, well, I hate to do that because I've already made a hole. And I said, don't worry about it, just do that. But hers is pretty, and I can't even remember what mine looks like. It's in the storage room, so I just want to make sure that I have it straight. And some of the lines are going to probably show through on this, I would imagine. So, but I really just want to make sure my quilt is going to go on straight. And hopefully it is. So, I'm just going to move it down just a little bit. It's kind of hard to know if something is, I'm standing on my very little tippy toes here. All right, looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and stick into the, already sticking to it. And I don't know how this is going to look. If it's got wrinkles, it'll just look more rustic because it was soaking it up, but it's also taking a long time to dry too. So I'm going against what I said to do. I think it's better to start in the middle and go out with these large pieces like this, and just work your way outward. Like that. Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you like the summer bundle. I do. I hope those of you that have ordered it have enjoyed it. I haven't. Ooh, it is not. It's going to wrinkle. I guess it's just the wood and everything, so it's just really soaking it up. I'm hoping it's going to stick. So, anyway, we will embrace those wrinkles. It's after all, it's on a piece of rustic old, what looks like barn wood or a pallet. So, it'll be fine. Just all the more rustic, right? And like I said, it's kind of dark white underneath it, so it's probably not going to be as bright as it would if it was under something solid white. Okay. Yeah, it's really soaking it up. You can see the dark spots, but those will dry. Those will dry. Matter of fact, I can probably dry it. Maybe I didn't get enough Mod Podge there on the sides of that. Maybe that's the problem there. So, I have a feeling that's an issue there. I didn't get Mod Podge. I should have just gone ahead and Mod Podged, decoupaged with the Mod Podge over all the way to the ends, but I didn't. So if it lifts up, then I'll just add more to it. Make sure it's down good. I can feel it grabbing. So cool, 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 cool. All right, so and you can see the some more parts of the board in there too, and that's okay. If I really wanted to, I could take me a knife or a toothpick or something and go in and, you know, exaggerate that. But we'll just leave it as it is. I think this is gonna, I hope it's gonna turn out pretty. So, so we may have time to do the other one. I don't know. It depends on what I'm gonna do with my spindle. But I did bring the other project over here to work with, except I didn't bring my clamps with me. They're in my studio back there. So don't know how that'll work. But let's just see what this is going to do. Some of it's drying, but some of this is just really soaked up. This wood is soaked up the Mod Podge. Isn't it pretty? This is just an idea. I'll do it for. What are you saying? What are you saying? I need to post my pictures, what I've done with these beautiful napkins. Yes, you do, Diane. I have a free group called Create with Southern Designs and Finds, where you can go in and put your pictures and share what you've been making. All of us, it's kind of sleepy over there these days. So it's kind of, I don't know, I'm hoping that those dark spots are going to clear up, but they may not. So maybe it's just because it's dark under there, but I feel like it's just because it's white. But that'll just make it look weathered, okay? And I can always go over it with dark wax if I want to as well. But those dark spots don't seem to want to go away. They did up here pretty much, but not there. So it just may be the colorations in the wood. You never know any of this until you try it, right? I'm going to just keep drying it and reading some comments, though. I think it's worse than childbirth. Do you really? I know they say that about men. I know they say that about men. So I had a thought, oh, I'll send you foot pics. According to my daughter, there are people out there that actually buy them. Oh, my gosh. We can help your house get done in short order. Oh, gosh, Joanne. Oh. Yeah, you can use Cindy's feet. How about that? Oh my gosh. I know people, there are some people that really do have foot fetishes. And, yeah. Well, I don't know if this is going to dry any more than it was when it's done. But see the dark spots there? Maybe it's just the, wood under there. But there you go. We've got it on. But you can see right there. But maybe as it goes on, time goes on, it'll dry off. But that's what it's looking right now. And what I thought about doing is taking some sandpaper, wherever I did with it. What did I do with my sandpaper? Okay, here it is. I don't know if my little sander will work, my gator on this. I didn't even see my gator. I had it out. Let's see. Here's my cart. I'm looking on my cart to see if my gator's on here where it should be. There it is, where it should be. Let's just see if the gator would work. You're supposed to sand with the grain, though. Oh, shoot. Never mind. That didn't work. I got my napkin. Fiddle. Let me do that. I just pulled my napkin up. I probably should have sanded this beforehand. That's what I should have done. All right. Let's leave this be. I'll dry it. Maybe it's not going to get sanded. I might be able to do a little bit of the edges. This was just a little bit too close. So, we'll see what this looks like. But it's looking old. You can kind of see maybe it'll just mean, maybe it means the barn quilt is kind of threadbare right there. You never know what you're going to do. You know, in my head, I'm thinking of what I'm going to do. And I probably, in hindsight, should have marked it and painted it solid white and then just had the edges. You know, rough like this, but it is what it is. So, oh yeah, I'd love to see it. Diane, let's see what Diane's saying. I saw her comment somewhere. Maybe what day? Oh, yeah, get them up. She said she's been getting my bundles for what, 3 years now. So yeah, I'm trying to decide whether to do any more, to be honest, because this last bundle did not sell well, and I'm not saying I lost any money. I got my money back for sure. I did, but I have about 30 some odd, I think, left over. So, and I've even put them on sale. All right, I'm going to leave this because it's just, so I don't know if I can just kind of sand it a little bit more. Doesn't seem to want to be sanded very good, does it? So, I'm going to add some dark wax to this too. And just, we're just trying to get it to look a little bit more barnwoody looking. But it's, I think that'll be what it's going to be. So, all right. I'm not going to worry about it. So, let me see where my holes are. Okay, there they are. So, let me show you what I wanted to do. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. I've got some chain that I cut right here. And what I used, it was just some regular shiny chain that Mr. Wonderful had. I went ahead and I wanted it kind of rusty. He had some rusty chain, but it was too big. I went ahead and got this Rust-Oleum multicolor textured spray paint. It's the texture, you know, that kind of looks like rust. It doesn't say it's hammered. Sometimes it'll say hammered metal, but this just says multicolored texture. And I went ahead and hung them up and spray painted my chains and to make them look a little rusty. And then what I did is I did the same thing with some S hooks, okay? I've got these little S hooks and they're not completely covered, okay? That's how rust is, right? They're just not completely covered. They have a little bit of rust on them, and yeah, it is a big decision. I gotta see. If not, I'll just order just a whole lot less, you know, for those of you who really do like to enjoy the napkins. I think people are just getting into the printables more and rice paper, and they're collecting too many napkins, you know, and that kind of thing. So what I did is I used these screw eyes, okay, and I spray painted them. These are called screw eyes. And I drilled a pilot hole on each end here and the spindle. And because, especially the spindle wood is very hard. And so I'm just going to add these little screw eyes into the top of this board here. And if you have trouble, you know, you can start screwing it in. And if you have trouble, I don't want to force it. You can take some pliers, needle nose pliers or any kind of pliers, and just start turning it as you go. Okay, and I don't think I want to force it right now in, and this is the reason why. Tim tried to screw one in last night just to see if it was going to work, and it broke off into the hole on the spindle. So then we had to turn the spindle and drill another hole. So I would not force it. Just get it down as far as you can get it, and because you just don't want it to break off. So, okay. So I'm going to leave that be just like it is. So I've got them, those little screw eyes in there. You see them, and they look kind of rusty. And so that's what the chain is going to hang on. And let's just go ahead and do some dark wax too. We're doing pretty good. So here's my spindle. And I bought these spindles in Canton, Texas last year at the Craft Round the Clock Vintage Soul Sister trip. I bought several of them, and I've gone ahead and did the same thing. I put the screw eyes, I drilled 2 pilot holes in each of these hardwood. Now, in fact, he had to help me. My drill kept sliding off. He had to help me. And it's got a little bit of chippy paint left on it, but not a lot, okay? So my dilemma is I have time to do it. Should I leave the wood just like it is and hang it just with what little chippy wood there is with this? Let me show you. or should I go ahead and do a candle and chippy it with the white paint, the plaster? But it's going to hang like this. So this is what it's going to look like. You've got the dark wood on the top, and then I'm going to dark wax this to kind of tie it in a little bit and just see it. You don't want me to leave it? That's what I was thinking. If you put a dowel through the hole, it will give you a little handle to turn. Yeah, you can do that. I've also used a paintbrush. Yeah, you can do that. You can put a dowel through there. Yes, you can definitely do that. Tim's done that before, or a little paintbrush handle. This is what she's talking about. It's just take your little paintbrush handle and put it through there and turn it too, and that'll work. Absolutely. Forgot about that. Let's see what it looks like with the dark wax on there, and then we'll kind of go from there, okay? All right, I'm going to put some clear wax first. I just like to put clear wax on mine first. It helps to kind of spread the dark wax around a little bit, and I would just leave it all that's left. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I'm just going to take some clear wax first and just go over this. And I don't know how this is going to work because it is rough wood. As you can see through the napkin, it's rough wood, and it took on that color and shape, and you know, I don't know. That if in hindsight, I may have just gone ahead and just painted it white, solid white, right underneath the napkin, but it's just going to look rustic, and that's, you know, I wanted it to look like more like a quilt though, but so you can see where I'm doing, you can see where the dark wax is, I mean the clear wax, see, you see it there? So it's really, it's soaking it up for sure, and it's getting on the napkin, and that's okay too. So, but I thought maybe dark waxing it might help to kind of tie in the spindle a little bit. So, just really soaking it up. Woo. But I'm pretty sure I probably got this palette sign from Walmart. It said Hampton Art, so I don't know. So see, it's soaking that up on there too. But it had irregular heights to it, and then Tim sawed it all off for me to make a perfect square, is what he did. Some of you probably have one of these or have seen them at Walmart. But it had like every other one, you know, was higher, lower at this height, and then one higher, and then one higher. And they were just kind of spaced out like that. So, that's kind of what it looked like. And I just wanted it all square. So, I think I've seen it. Yeah, Regina, I think that's where I got it. I really do. I think that's where I got it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of dark wax to this. And I'll probably end up going over the napkin with it too, because just to make it look a little bit more aged with that. I'm just using a shorter these are little stencil brushes that I'm using instead of my dark wax brush, because it's bigger. And so these little stencil brushes work pretty good, really. But yeah, it's darkening it up. It's looking pretty good. So, looking pretty good. I'm going to do the sides too. Let's see. What's my temperature up to now? I don't know. Let's see. Where's my phone? Oh, goodness. I don't even know where my phone is. Maybe it's in the other room. It had gotten up to 63 when I was outside with Tim. But it was enough for me to want to wear a sweater. So it's probably 60, I don't know, maybe 66, 67 right now. Just a little odd, you know, just a little. That's weird how that changed that color, but it didn't around the edges. But it almost looks like old paint, you know what? it's not covering it, but it almost looks like old paint that is left underneath there. I kind of like that look. That's kind of a happy accident there. So, but anyway, we'll, let me get my sponge and we will just do the edges of this. This napkin, I gotta be gentle because the napkin's still kind of damp. It's, the reason it's damp is because this wood has really soaked it up. And so I just want to be careful with it, that I don't tear it. It needs to be sealed. And some people actually seal their napkins with clear wax. I've done that before and it works. My friend Stephanie from the Vintage Pebble does that. And I learned it from her, and it really does seal it. You can, your water will pool up on it, you know. And I did a trial run. I did a napkin I didn't care about on just a scrap piece of wood, and it sure did work. It sure did. So we're just doing the edges of this now and just making it look kind of worn. And I'm just kind of dabbing it with a sponge here. Dab, dab, dab. But I'll show you what the paint, this isn't paint. This is actually just the way the wax, when I put the clear wax on there, it did that. It's just the craziest thing. Some of it soaked up and some didn't. It's just really bizarre. So, okay. Let's get this going. What are y'all saying? Thank you, Patty. It's 70 in Blairsville and 74 here in Calhoun. Thank you, Cynthia. I wondered if it was 70 yet. She's not, Calhoun's not too far away from us. What do you think it is? About an hour and a half? An hour? I mean, I've been to Calhoun, but I haven't, you know, I don't remember how long it took us to get there. We were going to a rodeo, so I really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it, how long it took. So this is looking really cool. It's looking old, just like an old piece of a quilt that, and I'm just going to go over it a little bit here with, just to kind of age it just a little bit more, just give it some spots and make those areas that are showing through a little darker, just kind of more intentional a little bit. Just making it, it's thin right there for some reason. It really soaked up the Mod Podge. So, I don't know. All right, so let's just do that. It's just going to be really splotchy, and it's not going to look new. It's going to look old. And actually, I think I might just dab this in there and just see what that does. So I'm just going to smear it a little bit, just like that. I have a heavy hand, so, but I'm trying to be very light because I don't want to tear my napkin. So some of it's going to look really old looking, and some of it's going to look not quite as old. You know how panels are. You know how when you buy old quilt panels, they're stained and they're, this is what this is going to look like. So let me get some clear wax and see if I can't smear that out a little bit more there. Don't know if I can, but I'm going to try it. Sometimes the clear wax will act like an eraser. And get that. So some places are going to be a lot darker than others. So if that bothers you, then don't do it. But I just like it to look authentically old, you know, when I'm working with this kind of stuff. So, so let's just see if we can't smooth that out a little bit. Here we go. So that clear wax kind of sucks into the napkin too, and You gotta be careful. I just pulled up some of that napkin. I kind of tore it a little bit, but it went right back down. So, all right. Looks old to me. Looks pretty old. So, that clear wax just makes that dark wax kind of smooth out a little bit. So, looks pretty doggone good, I think. Looks pretty old. Let me get it up here a little bit. And just see what we're getting here. So this is taking up a little time, aging it a little bit, so that's a good thing. But this is just one of the ideas that you can do with this quilt panel here. Let me show it. I'm going to dry it really quickly, maybe. Why am I having so much hard? Everything's right here at my fingertips, but I'm having such a tough time spreading the love. Thank you, June. Thank you, Joanne. Let me see if there's any questions here. You like the napkin, June? I love this napkin. I really do. My husband likes it 75 in the winter with the wood stove going, but sets the AC to 65 in the summer. Oh, well, we had to get the heat on. I was chilly when I went to bed last night. It was 60 degrees outside, and I was chilly, and I have to usually have a fan on. And Buddy, I didn't turn the fan on. I was cold, and that dark wax is just going through there, making spots. I mean, that clear wax. Hopefully it'll dry. If not, it'll just be very spotty. So, let me see if I can't kind of smooth that out a little bit. Oh well, big old spots. Big old spots. That's okay. It's supposed to look old, right? And it's not supposed to look perfect because you can't pick and choose where your dark spots and stains are going to be, right? So, but I want to show you the way it looks, how some of this wood just did not take up the dark wax, the clear wax, and it looks white. So it just really looks like it's been painted on. It's the most bizarre looking thing I've ever seen. But it just looks like there's some paint underneath it that's smeared. So that's looking pretty good to me. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the sides and get it where it's just a little bit more rustic looking. And I'll show you what we're looking like here. So there you go. You can start seeing what we're seeing here. And get the dark wax on there. All right. I bet I really want to check real quick and make sure there aren't any questions. Because I don't know if y'all have asked any questions, or some of y'all may have answered them for them. But let me show you what we're looking like. Now see how old and you see this down here? That's the wood, and it didn't soak up the wax as well, and so it just looks like there's just paint underneath it, and it looks really chippy. So to me, that was sort of a happy accident there. But I've weathered, or I've distressed the quilt panels to where they just look a little bit more distressed, and you know. I wanted to do that because some of this is just, some of it, I don't know what happened. It just soaked up. It just soaked up the Mod Podge. Just soaked it up. And the napkin is very thin in some spots. So I'm just aging it, trying to kind of disguise that a little bit. And it's just very, very fragile. But I like some of the look that I'm getting with this. So anyway, so I'm going to kind of leave it alone, I think, and just kind of go from there. And let's see. But it is kind of taking on the shape of the wood, the grain of the wood underneath the napkin, which is the wax is kind of helping that to happen, which is kind of cool. Some of that, part of my napkin is too, some of those little triangle, I don't know what you call them, embossing things are on there, but didn't that look cool? That's looking really old. Now, some of you may not want it to look that old, so, and that's perfectly fine. I get it. It's not for everybody. So I'm going to just let that dry a little bit. And I thought about putting the star in the middle. I've got a barn star I can use, but it's not the same shape as the star. Let me show you. So I thought about putting a barn. I could either do the barn star in the middle, but it's a more primitive star. Not a barn star. This is the primitive star. Or I can do this one, which is that shape of a barn star. Do y'all like that, or should I just not put anything in the middle? What do y'all think? I really don't know. So I can always add it, that's for sure. Okay, that lid goes on that one goes on this one. This is dark wax and clear wax from Home Depot. It's made by Behr, B-E-H-R. You see that? So that's where that came from. The no metal star. Yeah, because I know sometimes on a barn star or barn quilt there's not a star. I got to thinking about that. So I'm going to leave the spindle just the way it is. I'm not going to try to chippy it up, okay? This spindle came from Canton, Texas, and we cut them off. Tim did, to where they would be even on both sides. And I bought several of these. Cindy was with me. She was with me, and we hung out together the whole time. I think you should live with it for a bit before adding the star. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. It was something I thought about doing, but you know, I don't think I'm going to do it. So let's go ahead and put our S hooks on now. These are the ones that I sprayed with the Rust-Oleum textured paint to make them look a little rusty. They were just shiny. So I'm going to put the S hooks on there. I wanted what little chippiness was left to be showing. So we're going to put those on, and I squeezed with pliers. I squeezed the S hooks a little bit closer together too. So I'm hoping that that's going to work. So these are little screw eyes that I screwed into the spindle itself. So let's go look and see which way these are going. Here. All right, so that's going to go there. Okay, and how did I have it? I'm kind of wanting my S hooks to go the same way. All right, so let's put the chain on now. And this was chain that was bright silver metal too. And I spray painted those and got those on to where they're just looking a little old and weathered, where they've been sitting out in a bucket or what have you. All right, this is the hard part, doing this on a live with y'all. Okay, let me lay it down. Whoops, there went that one. Gotta get it. Oh, at least it didn't go on the floor, right? Okay, let's get it all hooked together here. I'm all thumbs this morning. So this was my idea for this barn quilt. I really wanted to use the whole panel, and why can't I get these on? This is crazy. Okay, let me spread it out this way and get them all on. I got them on last night. I tried it. Okay. It'll work, I promise. It's just, I probably need another set of hands to do this. But, all right, got to get that S hook going this way. We've got a couple of minutes left. So let's get it hooked on there. Now trying to get it lifted up with the hook still on there is going to be the trick. So, all right. Well, y'all may just have to just let me fool with this and take a picture, because it's not wanting to cooperate with me. I just need another set of hands is what I need. So, I can't believe this. I didn't have any trouble with this last night at all. Okay, there's that one. And then it's going to be the trick is to get it to turn around. Because I've got it backwards. But you'll get the idea. Okay, got one there. Let's get the other one. Okay. Woo. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So here it is. Finally. Thank y'all for your patience. But that's what it looks like hanging, and I have no idea how I'm going to hang it yet. What I need to use on the back of the spindle to put it up on a wall. And if I feel like I want to shorten the things, I will. The chain, I'll probably shorten them if I want to. But I just thought it was really cool. Look, see how the napkin looks aged and stained to look at like an old quilt panel. And then this is a happy accident. It didn't soak up the brown stain, the brown dark wax for some reason. And so it makes it look like it's got paint showing underneath there on that. And I think that dark wax does tie in with the spindle very well. So that is my project today. Do you like it, Patty? Y'all like it? Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, it's a great piece, isn't it? Thank you, Pat. So there you go. There it is. I just don't have any idea yet what kind of hooks or what I need to use to hang this. So I can even take a picture for you. I've got a nail or screw in the wall I can probably lay on there, but I'll get Mr. Wonderful to advise me how to do that. And but anyway, thank you for joining me today on my segment of Craft Around the Clock. And thank you. And if I'm not mistaken, Cindy, my friend Cindy with Monarch Moms is going to be on next with Craft Around the Clock. So y'all go check her out, see what she's going to be making too. If you're interested in this napkin in my bundle, I have pinned it in the comments, or you can just put napkin bundle and I'll send you the link in the comment. How about that? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Y'all have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.